So tell me if this is familiar to you. Okay. My guitar is in the corner there. I haven't touched it and really played music for many months now. At least 3, 4 months, I would say, probably more than that. And music is the most important thing I do. But again, I haven't done any. I even went once in my life for like maybe 5 years without playing music. John Lennon did that. So life got in the way. I lost my apartment recently. This is a friend's room because, a month and a half ago, I was in the street basically. I was the closest you can be of being in the street without being in the street. I mean, it was my friend's place or the sidewalk. So obviously, that doesn't help making music. But the fact is that it's still the most important thing I do, and now I want to get back to it. I want to start again, to find a way to start again, to start making music again, to start reintegrating into my life, because time passes and life passes, and eventually, spoilers, you die. Right? I'm sorry to say it, and. You only have so much time, before so much time to write your songs or your symphonies or your novels. I'm also writing a novel. I wrote 30,000 words so far, so it's in 4 parts. So I wrote the first part of 30,000 words, and if I finish it by next month, it's published. It's almost certainly going to be published because my friend here has a publishing house. He's just started in short version. So I have an incentive, a great incentive to write it. And I have a cool story I want to tell. And I love my story. I've been thinking about it and working on it for a long time. Lots of notes and all these things. It's a fantasy story, kind of like a Michael Moorcock, strongly influenced by Michael Moorcock. Stories. So I want to do that, but again, I haven't touched it for maybe a month at least, something like that, because I've been trying to figure out how to to get an actual rent, how to actually buy groceries, And I had a business for a long time. It didn't work. I mean, it's a long story how I got in that situation. And many times I thought in the last few years I had found the financial solution, right? I had found, okay, this is the way. This is the client that will make my business and my life, stable again. I was building websites. And of course, it turns out to be the client from from hell. So yeah, a long cascade of things put me in this spot. But I'm almost certain that this spot is the perfect spot for me to be in, even if it's been like my friends are very, 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 very nice. They've been beyond. I've been truly blessed, and it is true that one must count one's blessings. That is a real thing. You get more of them that way. But the fact is that my guitar is still in the corner, and my novel still isn't, advancing, and that's because I have all these YouTube channels, and I'm growing the YouTube channels because my idea is, well, I will give the best part of myself. I will try to be useful and sincere in all these things, and I will show myself to the world. I will share what I can, and eventually, things will grow from there. Okay, so that's kind of the idea, but it has to be based on sincerity and giving, right? But the fact is that, okay, how do I get back to playing music? Well, there are 2 obstacles. Okay, to any there are 2 obstacles to a creative life. And the first is resistance, and the second is lack of bad habits. Okay. And resistance is something, for instance, that Stephen Pressfield talks a lot about. The War of Art and all these things. They're wonderful books. Everybody should read them. Even if you're not a writer, no matter what type of creative endeavor you have, even if it's a business, that though how much, that's another topic, but War of Art is great, and he talks a lot about you know, the resistance. And I read occult books from the 19th century that were describing that exact same thing, which is all the urges and thoughts and good ideas that you get when you decide you're going to sit down, but that tell you that to sit down to work or to create or to write. All those priorities that your mind comes up with to divert you from sitting down and working. Because when you're, so that's the resistance part. Because when you want to have a creative life, which is the life most people should have in one way or another, I think. But if you want to write a novel or songs or whatever, so your first obstacle is a resistance, and your main job isn't write the song, it's get your ass on the chair. Okay. That is your number one task. That is where you will spend most of your energy. Okay. Get your ass on the chair. Okay. And once you're sitting down in the chair, all the distractions, you know, now is a good time to check my messages. No, you know that, right? And no, but I should really do the dishes now. I'm sitting down, but oh, man, I forgot about that thing in the fridge. It's really turning bad, and you know, no. Those are all tricks from resistance, which is trying to move you away from doing the work. Okay, and in terms of the songwriting, so in terms of the songwriting, the job is picking up the guitar, and so once you've picked up the guitar, or once you've opened up your manuscript, okay, once you start typing, then usually everything flows. Like writer's block, I actually do not believe in it. I've had it. I've had the experience of writer's block, but I don't think it's. I think it's an optical illusion. Okay, because it's actually the resistance disguised as this phenomenon of writer's block. Because if you sit down in front of a piece of paper at 1 o'clock every day, I guarantee you, okay, the muses will send you the work. They will, you will get it, okay? And the same thing for my music, okay? If I have my guitar at hand and I pick it up every day at 1 o'clock, I will get songs, okay? So, okay, so that's the resistance part. And I just mentioned, but I said there are two things. There's resistance and bad habits. And it's bad habits, but really it's the other thing that gets in the way is not so much bad habits as lack of good habits. That's more the thing, is that if you look at your day, you know, okay, wake up, maybe check the phone. I'm not a very big, I have a cell phone, but I barely touch it. But I'm always online, right? I check my messages, my emails, and check Reddit. Don't do that. But, you know, check YouTube and all these routines. I'll make the coffee, and actually there's a lot of habits in there. And the big trouble we have is when we're trying to be a creative person, that means that we have to change one of those habits. We have to we say we don't have time because all our time is filled up with the habits we're used to doing, right? So yeah, there's no time in my 2 hours of YouTube for me to sing, to play, to write a song or practice or write my novel, because clearly I'm watching 2 hours of YouTube, so there's no time in there, okay? But the answer is that, okay, you have a habit there, which is watching 2 hours of YouTube, so you need to change that habit, and that is uncomfortable, okay? Your habits make you feel safe and comfortable. That's what they do, and it's normal. The human body is built that way. There's good reasons. But you're fighting against that when you're making new habits. You're kind of fighting against your body's survival mechanism, in a sense. Okay, there's an element of that. So because you're fighting against, you're trying to train your body, and that's really the way to see it. Your body is your best friend, and your body loves you, and we should really love it back. Okay, but we need to train it. We need to consider that our body, okay, which is where most of our habits actually live, you know, sensations and all these things. Well, we need to consider that when we're training our body, it's kind of like training a poodle or training a small dog, you see, or a horse, if you like. We're training ourselves the way we would train, you know, a dog we love, but, you know, an animal, because that's what we're doing. Physiologically, we're mammals, you know. We are animals, and we have this higher consciousness or awareness of a higher consciousness, but we still need to train our bodies when we want to make new habits, like creative habits. We need to, what we're actually doing is training a mammal, and it's hard and uncomfortable. Okay, so the idea here is that we will have the resistance, which is all the, you know, which is very powerful, you know, and we have the changing habits, which implies, again, a lot of difficulty of uncomfortable sensations and so forth. And on top of that, and then I'll get to what I will do, what is my plan, okay? Well, on top of that, you know, these things are very difficult. Facing resistance is difficult. It takes an effort, and changing habits is super difficult, you know, and it takes a lot of work, you know. It takes willpower. I have a video about growing your willpower. But on top of that, when we fail, which is very often, we feel awful, like we feel ashamed, you know. So that's the third difficulty I haven't mentioned, you know. Oh my God, I'm such a loser. Why can't I do anything? You know, my life is wasting, whatever. Okay. So as far as the bad feelings are concerned, obviously, once you know that, okay, you will be, if you fail, you will feel bad, and don't feel bad for feeling bad. Don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up. Acknowledge that the bad feelings, like the shame or whatever, is coming up, and in that case, treat yourself like you would treat a 4-year-old child that you love, like your niece. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you failed. You fell down. It's okay. Let's get up and play. Okay. That's how you do that. So okay. So, but concentrating on the habits and the resistance, in both cases, the solution is kind of the same. I mean, the solution, there's a solution that helps with both things, which is resisting, adding layers of making things simpler. And what do I mean by that? Check this out. My guitar now is 3 feet away from now. My acoustic guitar. And oh, it's far away. I'm never going to pick it up because there's resistance, you know. So what am I going to do? Check this. Okay. Okay. 5, 6. I picked it up, and I will put it for now because I need to move some wires here, some cables. But oh, okay. I'm putting it here. Okay. For instance, I'll need to move some stuff, but you get the general idea. Okay. I have put it where I only need to reach for it. There is no longer a 3-foot distance between me and the instrument. It is right here. Okay. I only need to stretch my hand. No, not this. Okay. Because as far as your habits and your mind and the resistance is concerned, 3 feet is 3 million miles. Okay. Like the Quatermass movie, 5 million miles to Earth. That's the distance from here to Mars. Okay. It's like a desert of infinity. Okay. So you have to make things easier. So that's one thing. And conversely, if you want to get rid of bad habits, like, okay, checking your phone every morning when you wake up, you check your phone for 15 minutes or an hour, whatever, and it's a bad habit and you want to get rid of that, well, what do you do? So, take your phone, put it in a tin box, something like that, because you're adding a layer of effort. Okay, so obviously you can open the tin box and get your phone, okay, but you have added an extra step. Okay, so if you want to get rid of bad habits, every time I open the fridge, I have one of those delicious Hostess cakes, whatever. Well, you can always not buy the cakes, those tasty cakes. But let's say you have bought them, and I buy those cakes, so once in a while. So let's say you have bought them. Okay, well, if you want, and every time you open the fridge, you have one. Okay, well, you put the cakes, in an extra container, something like that. You see, you make it a little bit harder to get it. Okay, you're not chaining the fridge. You're just adding a layer of resistance because your body doesn't like that. Okay, so again, you're talking with your body. So yeah, okay. So in terms of so with the guitar, this is the example, and I have also an electric guitar. So I suspect I will do is, because of this room is kind of it's comfortable but small, so I will probably move back that guitar a little bit further, but put my electric guitar, which is the Les Paul here. You can see it. So I will probably put that closer here so that I can just get it, reach it. But that's the trick. So by doing that, I have greatly increased the chance that I will pick up the instrument. So I haven't formed a new habit yet, but this will make it a lot easier for me to form those new habits, to start playing again. So, and I'm starting slow. I'm not starting with I have to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning and practice for 3 hours or write a chapter of the novel, which I'm planning to do. But I'm not starting with that now, okay? Because you have to always the same thing. You have to stretch yourself, but not burn yourself out. You see. So this is an easy thing to do, just to put it closer to me. It took me 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds to get up and put it here. But in terms of the ripple effect on my creativity, it will be life-changing, or sort of habit-changing. Okay, and in terms of the novel, it's kind of the same thing. So the idea here is I can, so for now, I have a laptop and my manuscript or tapuscript is on the laptop on the USB key, right? So probably now what I will do is I will transfer the manuscript on my main computer. This is like my main working computer. And I will create a shortcut to the manuscript on the desktop. So all I need to do when I get up tomorrow, to work on my manuscript, is double click on that and it will open. So it's the same thing here. So I have reduced effort and resistance, and tiny things. But that's how you win the fight. That's how you win the war of art.